Hello friends, this is Nick from NLB Solutions, and today I'm going to show you a deep dive video into how you can upgrade your Zabbix Monitoring Server. And I'm going to use my old installation. If you remember, we've previously installed the Zabbix Monitoring Server, and I've shown you step-by-step guide on how to do it. So now that Zabbix have released a new version, actually this was released a few months ago. There was an alpha and a beta version, but now they have the proper release of the 3.0 version, which is fully supported by them. And of course, you may know that Zabbix is an open source monitoring tool, and I personally think that it's a great tool for monitoring your network and server environment. It has a lot of functionality. For example, I have added one of my Hyper-V hosts, and you can see that I even have an alarm saying that there is a problem with the memory cache bytes on the server. Of course, I can open a graph, and I can see a lot of information that can show me what is the current situation on the server. I can see what is the disk space on the C drive, and for example on my other drive I can see a lot of information of the memory usage on the server and so on. So this is a great tool for you to try out and see if it's suitable for your environment. Of course, you will have to configure a lot of templates, but there are of course pre-built templates that you can use that come with the installation of Zabbix. So you can use them. Of course, you can compile your own templates. There is a functionality, for example, if a critical event happens, it can send you an email or even an SMS, so you can see what's going on. So the new version, it comes with basically a new GUI. The front-end design of the website is different from the one that you can see right now, and I think it looks pretty futuristic. It looks really nice, and I'm not able to, in a short video, I'm not able to provide all the functionalities of the Zabbix server because believe me, there are a lot, and you have to go ahead and use my video of how to install the Zabbix server and do it on your own test lab. For example, link one or two servers to it, or if you want, you can monitor routers, switches, firewalls. You can monitor hosts, you can monitor hardware as well, and you can test it and see how it goes and if it's suitable for your own environment. So I'm going to switch now to my Ubuntu server where I have the Zabbix 2.4 installed, and I'm going to proceed with upgrading the Zabbix to 3.0. Now that I'm on my Ubuntu server, I'm going to log in using my administrator credentials. Okay, and there is a prerequisite that is required for the new Zabbix 3.0 version to be up and running fine after you do the upgrade, and this is the PHP version on your server. So make sure that your system has the PHP 5.4 and up. That's needed because the new files will require the new PHP, and if you fail with that prerequisite, your Zabbix server will not, your web page for your Zabbix server will not properly show up. The easiest way for you to check the version of your PHP is using the command php-v. That will show you what is the currently installed version of your PHP, and as you can see, mine is 5.5.9. So I'm good to go with upgrading my Zabbix server. But if you have an older version of the PHP, you can always upgrade it first and then go ahead and just upgrade the server as well. Another prerequisite that I should mention is really important, and that is backing up your server. As you can and as you know, upgrading servers can be sometimes a really dangerous task to do, and systems can fail to start after you perform an upgrade. So it's always a good idea for you to back up the system. If you have a virtual machine, you can perform a clone of the virtual machine and just store it somewhere safe, so you can have backup if something fails during the upgrade process. Another thing that I should mention is if you have a lab environment, I really recommend doing this in the lab environment so you can test it and see how it will work, if it's going to suit your environment, and there when you are 100% sure that everything is working fine and you can trust the new upgrade, you can just perform the upgrade into the production environment. So I'm going to start with the first step, and that is to stop the Zabbix server service. I can achieve this using the command sudo service Zabbix server and then stop. It will ask me for my admin password and it will stop the Zabbix server. The next thing that it's really important for me to do is perform a backup on the existing Zabbix database and backup of the configuration files and PHP files, so, and of course the Zabbix binaries. So I'm going to proceed with the backups right now, and later we can clean the repository of the older versions and upgrade the new version. Now that I've checked my PHP version, I'm going to start by performing the MySQL backup. I'm going to use the command MySQL dump and then user, root, and then password. It will prompt me for the password. Zabbix, I want to back up the Zabbix database into Zabbix backup.sql. Press enter, enter the password for the root account, that is. And now we have a backup of my Zabbix MySQL database. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the Zabbix server configuration into another folder, and I will leave the folder there until the whole process is done, and we'll leave it for a couple of more weeks, for example, just to be sure and on the safe side. So I'm going to copy sudo copy and then etc Zabbix and then Zabbix server conf into and then Zabbix backup. Okay, backups, and press enter. It will ask me for the sudo password. I think I got it wrong. Let me try again. Okay, now I have configuration, the Zabbix server configuration file saved on a safe location. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the PHP files. Let me see if I'll be able to find them. User, share, share, that is, and doc and Zabbix, and then I'm going to choose all files. I'm going to copy them into Zabbix backups. Okay, press enter. Oops, I forgot to add the command copy. Okay, it's not a directory. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the directory first. I think that would be a good idea. So I'm going to change directory, and I'm going to go to and make directory that is going to be called Zabbix backups. Okay, there is a file named that way, so I'm going to Zabbix backup. Let's try that way. Okay, and I'm going to use the sudo command. Okay, now I have the Zabbix backup files, Zabbix backups which is the configuration file of my Zabbix server, and I have a folder called Zabbix-bckp. So I'm going to use the command once again, sudo copy user share doc zabbix-all into Zabbix backup. Press enter. Okay, I've copied the Zabbix agent, frontend PHP release and server MySQL into the new folder. So the next thing that I need to do is I need to remove the old Zabbix repository so that we can download the new one onto the Zabbix repository and upgrade from it. I'm going to achieve this by using the command sudo remove rf etc apt sources list .d and Zabbix repo and press enter. Now that I've removed that, I'm going to download the new repository with the command wget and then http and then repo zabbix.com Zabbix 3.0 Ubuntu pull Zabbix release trusty all dep. Okay, if you want to get a link from where you can download and from what is the full link of the repository, you can always go to the Zabbix website, and in there you will have links and basically information where and how you can download the new version. So I'm going to press enter. The permission is denied, so I'm going to use sudo once again. Okay, and I've successfully downloaded the new Zabbix release, which is 3.0. Next I'm going to archive the Zabbix release 3.0. Okay, and now I'm going to update my repository with the new package that I have. So I'm going to wait for this process to finish. Now that the process is done, I'm going to proceed with the actual upgrade. Get install, and this is really important, only upgrade. I'm going to upgrade Zabbix server MySQL Zabbix agent and Zabbix front end PHP. Okay, and press enter. And it will ask me if I want to allow for the system to upgrade, and it will say that it will need some space, or it will delete some files and free some space in this case. So I'm going to press yes, and it's going to start working on my upgrade. And here it's asking me if I want to override the Zabbix server configuration, and the default action is to keep your current version. So I'm going to only press enter to keep the to keep the current version. And next is going to ask me to keep the apache.configuration. No, so I'm going to um, use the current that I don't want the system to wipe the one that I have, so press enter to that. And I can see that pretty much the process is done. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to my web page and see how the process went. Okay, now that I've switched to Internet Explorer, I'm going to open the IP address of the Zabbix server. And right away you can see that I have an error, which is a database error, saying that the front end does not match the Zabbix database, which was a really frightening moment when I first upgraded to the new version, because I of course tried it on a lab environment. No production environment was harmed that day, but it's really imagine if you upgrade it directly into your production and you see this error. It's not a good feeling and it's not working at all. So after looking into it, I found that the main problem was related to the Zabbix configuration file. For some reason, even if I specified that the Zabbix, I don't want the Zabbix to overwrite this file, it removed my MySQL account password and password for the database, and that's why this error appeared. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and look into the configuration file and see if my password is the correct one. Now that I'm on my Ubuntu server once again, I'm going to go to etc Zabbix, and using the text editor V, I'm going to open the Zabbix server configuration. And if I use the down arrow key, I will scroll down through the document, and right here I have the DB name, the DB user, which is the correct one, and the DB password, which actually, if I scroll down, you will be able to see my password. So I'm going to verify that, pause the video, verify that, make sure that it is the correct one. And after that, I'm going to proceed with starting the checking the Zabbix server service, restarting the service if needed, and try to open the web page once again. Before I proceed with this, I just wanted to show you the exact location where you need to check the database password, because I don't want to leave you like that. There you can see I've deleted the password at the moment. I'm not going to save the file that way, but you can see that first you can see the DB name, then the DB user, and then the DB password. Here you need to add your password and save the configuration file using the switch write and quit to write the information and quit after that. I'm going to use quit only without saving the information, and next I'm going to use the command sudo service Zabbix server and then restart. Okay, I can see that now I've restarted the service, and then I'm going to check the status to make sure that it's running. Yes, it is. So I'm going to switch to my browser once again, and let's see if the update and if the error is gone. Okay, now that I'm in the browser once again, I'm going to open the same web page, and this time, hopefully and luckily for me, I can see that my Zabbix has been successfully upgraded. I can even see that I have a version of Zabbix agent was changed on the Zabbix server. And if you remember, we changed the Zabbix version when we upgraded the product. So I can see that pretty much the functionality is there. And I can see all the templates. I can see my host, which I have linked with the Zabbix server, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to upgrade the version of the agent on the host itself as well, just in case, because at the moment it should be still running with the old 2.4. So yeah, let me see if I can see the graphics once again. Yep, and you can see that data is missing because we made the server was not up and running, and the Zabbix server that is, and it was not able to pick the information during that time. So there we go, guys. We've successfully upgraded the Zabbix server, Zabbix Monitoring Server, from 2.4 up to 3.0. Thank you very much for viewing, and see you soon.